Hare Krishna. In the previous verse, we looked at how Arjuna wanted Krishna to place his chariot in the middle of the two armies. And what were the two reasons given for it? One is he really wanted to understand who are these people who have joined forces with Duryodhana. And second is who are the people that have joined forces with him and who is he fighting against, to understand the strength of the opposite army and his army. Now in this particular verse, 23rd verse, he's trying to understand, it's a continuation of the same thing, he's trying to think that yotsemanan avekshe aham. He's saying, I want to see, again he's reiterating the same point, yotsemanan avekshe aham, ya ete atra sama agataha. So sama agataha, agata means to come, sama agataha, come together to do what? Dhartarashtrasya durbuddhe yuddhe priyachikieshavaha. So this he's saying Dhartarashtrasya durbuddhe. So who's Dhartarashtra? Dhritarashtra's son, which is Duryodhana. So Dhartarashtrasya, of Dhartarashtra, of Dhritarashtra's son, Durbuddher, Durbuddhi, or the evil mind, Yuddhe Priya Chikirshaha. By fighting with him, who are those people who have come to please him, please this evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra, this Duryodhana. This is what he's trying to say in this particular verse. Who's speaking this verse? Arjuna is speaking. And why is he saying Duryodhana as Durbuddhi? There's a beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is part of Kunti's prayers. She's talking about what are the different ways by which she was, her children had a tough time with growing up with these Kauravas, right? So she says, Vishan Mahagnehe Purushad Adarshanad. So it says, Vishan, first they gave poison to my son Bhima, thinking they're going to, he's going to be killed. And then Mahagnehe, Mahagni, they were sent into the Lak Palace. They were put in the Lak Palace. Can you imagine how sometimes position and pride or wealth can actually come in between relationships to the extent that we don't even, we lose even normal human connections. So these are blood relatives. Pandu is the brother of Dhritarashtra. And Dhritarashtra is allowing his brother's children and his wife to be burnt alive inside a Lak Palace. He knows what Duryodhana is up to, and still he's saying, yeah, please all of you go live. We've built a new beautiful palace for you. Go live there. And once they were settled there, they burnt the entire palace. But luckily for them, it was Vidura who gave good advice to Yudhishthira before they left, because of which they escaped from that Lak Palace without getting burnt. So this is the wonderful nature of Duryodhana, that he wanted to burn them all inside the Lak Palace alive. So isn't he Durbuddhi, right? So then that was Mahagnehe, Purushad Adarshanat. Then they left the Lak Palace, they went and stayed in Ekachakra, a small village, and they had rented a place from a Brahmana's house, one of the rooms, and all 6 of them lived there. Who 6? 5 Pandavas and the mother Kunti. So they all lived there, and then once they hear what the entire family is crying for, and they understood that there is a cannibal who's a man-eater, and it was the turn of the boy from that family to go as a prey for that man-eater. And hence Kunti Maharani is saying, don't send your son, I will send my son. We are very grateful that you gave us the place to stay when even in our own relative's house we haven't lived this peacefully. So as a gratitude, I would like to send my son for the cannibal instead of your son. But the Brahmana is saying that is not fair. Why would you lose your son? She's saying, I have 5 sons, you have only 1. Look at the quality of Kunti. She knows Bhima is going to finish this guy and come back, but still she's saying, don't worry, you have one son, and this is out of gratitude we are doing this for you, please allow us to do it. So Bhima goes, but finishes the cannibal and comes back. Purushada darshanat asat sabhaya. Sat means good, asat means evil, asat sabha, assembly of evil people. Right? Asat sabhaya, she tries to mention that in this asat sabha, in the assembly of these evil-minded people, my daughter-in-law was disrobed, Draupadi's Vastrapaharan, that happened. Asat Sabhaya, Vanavasa Krichrata. And after that, in this dice game, they made my children lose and they sent him to the Vana, 12 plus 1 years. Right? Vanavasa Krichrataha, Mride Mride Aneka Maharathastrato. And then she says, after they came back from the war, from the forest living, then Duryodhana said, fight and take. So now they had, so Kunti Maharani is speaking all of this much after Kurukṣetra war has happened and Yudhishthir Maharaj has become the king. So at that time she is speaking. So she is going back and thinking how Krishna supported during the entire war, although it was 18 days, but it was a heavy war situation, and how Krishna supported the sons of Kunti. So she's saying Mride Mride again and again. Maharathastra, all these Maharathis were there, and still Krishna, who are the Maharathis? There is Karna, there is Bhishma, there is Drona, so many of them, there's Duryodhana himself. So she's saying all these Maharathis were standing there against my sons, and they had more Akshauhinis than my sons. But Krishna, you were there. Right? Maharathastratro. And then finally she ends by saying, Draunyastrataschasma harehe abhirakshitaha. She's saying after all the war was over, this Drauni means Drona's son. Again, the name connected by the father's name. Drauni is Ashwathama's name, Dronacharya's son. So then he just aimed to kill the child Parikshit who was in Uttara's womb. So at that time she's saying, till now, from whenever to now, at this moment, it's not just me that you protected my children, you protected my daughter-in-law, you protected my grandsons, you protected my great-grandchild also. To that extent, you're constantly taking care of my entire family. So she's saying, Hare Hey Hari, who takes away. Hari means what? Haran Karna, to take away. What did he take away? Why is she using this word of Hari? We take sometimes these verses to be very simple or to be of not great value, but every word in these verses have very in-depth, so much profundity in each one of these verses. So what is she saying? She's saying Hari. Why is she using this word Hari? She could have said Krishna, she could have said Achyuta, she could have said Rishikesha, Parthasarathi or Janardana. She could have used many other names. Why she's picking this word Hari? She's saying at every single time there was trouble, you took away this trouble from us. Even in the Vana, when Draupadi was there, Akshaya Patra got over, and after that Duryodhana sent Durvas Muni so that Durvas Muni could curse the Pandavas. But what happened? Again, Krishna was present there and he told Draupadi, I'm feeling very hungry. Draupadi said, come on Krishna, I only prayed to you that you wish and wished that you were here so that you will protect me from Durvas Muni because I don't have any food. Look, I washed the Akshaya Patra and kept it aside. So Krishna said, oh, there is one morsel of rice and a little spinach. Krishna ate that and he burped. He said, oh, I have eaten so much. I feel so satisfied. As soon as Krishna was satisfied, Durvasa Muni and all the disciples of Durvasa Muni felt like they've had a huge feast. That's how he protected every single time. So Kunti Maharani is saying how beautifully every single time you have been there, you have showed that if we connect with you with love, then you reciprocate accordingly. This is what Arjuna is talking about here as Durbuddhi. What are the different things? Giving poison to Bhima. Who did this? Duryodhana. Putting us inside the Lakh Palace and burning. Who did? Duryodhana's plan. And cannibal, of course, was not his plan. And then whether it was Asat Sabha, disrobing Draupadi, his plan. And then Asat Sabhaya, Vanavasa Krichrata, sending them to forest, Duryodhana's plan. Coming back, putting up the Kurukṣetra war, his plan. And finally, Ashwatthama wanted to please Duryodhana one last time, and he wants to. Duryodhana is not even present at that point when Ashwatthama aimed at Parikshit with Brahmastra, but still it is in his mind that he should have pleased Duryodhana. So, to that extent, this Duryodhana has constantly been a factor of evil-mindedness. And Arjuna is so surprised. Sometimes we feel also, right? When someone is evil, someone is having bad thoughts, and they're constantly working those evil-minded plans, and some others who are our best friends or relatives also go hand in hand and support them. We wonder, how does this work? Do people not see the evil-mindedness of this other person? Why is this happening? Exactly like that, Arjuna is wondering, how are these people joining hands with this Dhartarashtrasya Durbuddhe, this Duryodhana, who's got such evil mind, and all of these people seems like they are the birds of the same flock, and that's why they are birds of the same feather, and that's why they're flocking together, right? They're flying together. So he's saying, I want to see who are these people who have joined hands with this evil-minded Duryodhana, and they want to fight against us. And that is this verse. So he says, Yotsamanan aveksheham ya ete atra samagataha dhartarashtrasya durbuddher yudhe priya chikirshavah. And that's this verse, 23rd verse, Hare Krishna.